Biden's still in Africa. After freezing at the Juneteenth party, though, he got a little more pep in his step. You think anyone's dancing for Joe in Washington? He's the most hated guy in D.C. right now. He pardoned his son, blamed his wife, and fled the country like Ellen. Kamala's calling Joe, telling him it's past his curfew and it's time to come home. But he says he's fallen in love with Angola.
I just got off the phone with the vice president, telling her I'm sorry she's not with me to be here today. You know, with you in Angola, a vibrant city, and I look, not the city I know is not Angola, but in Angola, in a vibrant city.
And it looks like Biden hasn't lost any sleep over Pardongate.
The implementation of the project will provide important opportunities for Africa's development in sectors such as agriculture, renewable energy, digital transformation, trade and logistics along the corridor.
So the big guy's on a safari. Kamala's still missing. Who's running the country? Not the feds. They're working from home. 42,000 government workers just inked a deal with the lame duck so they can work from home for the next 5 years. Can you believe these people? They put in a work from home clause in their contract right before Trump gets back. The nerve of these people. It's like the bureaucrats are taunting Doge. In 2029, these people are still going to be working from home. The pandemic will have been over for 10 years. And it's not just that they're lazy, they are horny. Veteran Affairs officials in Tennessee just got caught having an orgy on the clock. And not just any orgy, 12 people, butt naked, all over each other at work. We paid for that orgy. This was a taxpayer-funded orgy. Veterans Affairs, literally. Some of the sex was at the VA hospital. So while veterans are getting MRIs, these guys are in the other room going at it. And one of these bureaucrats fessed up to sleeping with 32 of his coworkers. 32. And the guy and a bunch of the 32 women were on company email bragging about it. This is the same VA that put veterans on wait lists to die. And they got bonuses, the longer the wait list. So Obama said he cleaned it up, right? Remember, I cleaned up the VA. It's not cleaned up where I come from, Barack. We're $36 trillion in debt, and the government's either working from home or having orgies. And Democrats are saying, you can't fire these people. The hell we can't. Trump's coming in with a plan to remake America in 1 week. And Fetterman wants in.
I mean, I don't know why it's controversial to eliminate waste, but that's not exactly an original idea either. I mean, how many different administrations is that all have that kind of a conversation, all these things? So, I mean, that's not revolutionary, it's not controversial, and I think anybody could support making our government more efficient and saving whatever money that we can.
Trump, Elon, Vivek, a.k.a. Doge, they're getting ready to take a blowtorch to the orgies and the work-from-homers. And good luck getting AOC's anti-racist oyster refunded again. You're just going to have to eat racist oysters. I'm sorry. Even daylight savings time might not make it. They say it's inefficient. And if they're targeting anything inefficient, the government better watch out. Nothing is safe. K Street's panicking. Lobbyists are trying to get a hold of Elon, but they don't know how to reach him. So they're trying to book themselves on Rogan. And Joe's like, who are you again? No. The rest of them are playing dirty. Trump's pick for FBI director, Kash Patel, just had his phone hacked. The government's blaming the Iranians. Go figure. The Iranians also hacked the Trump campaign in September. Why does the Biden administration keep letting Iranians hack Republicans? And how do we know it's the Iranians? We're just supposed to believe what Biden tells us? The last time they said Russia rigged the election, but it was really the FBI. How do we really know it was Iran? How do we know it wasn't China? How do we know it wasn't our own government? Blaming it on Iran. Obama's CIA hacked the Senate, and his Justice Department hacked reporters. There's a lot of dirty tricks in the mix. And Trump's nominee for defense, Pete Hegseth's in the crosshairs. Unnamed and anonymous sources, drip, 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 accusing him of drinking, sexual misconduct, and burning through cash at his nonprofits. Here's what Pete had to say. Listen.
What you're seeing right now with me is the art of the smear. It is the classic art of the smear. Take whatever tiny kernels of truth, and there are tiny, tiny ones in there, and blow them up into a masquerade of a narrative about somebody that I am definitely not. And what they never quote, and we'll get into this too, are the legions of people from who I served with in combat, multiple tours, from the multiple veterans organizations that I very proudly ran, and I really want to get into that, and my time at Fox News. They never asked the people closest to me.
No.
They never asked the people who were involved directly.
Pete says he's going to keep fighting and that he's talked to Trump and the president has his back.
If you wanted another general or another admiral or an executive or a CEO or a politician or a lawyer to run the Defense Department, we've tried that before. He said, I want a warfighter. I want lethality, lethality, lethality. I want readiness, accountability, standards, warfighting. Pete, that's you, that's me, clean house of the woke crap. All that stuff, all the climate stuff and the CRT and the DEI and the genderism and the get rid of it. Let's bring the Pentagon back to the people, the people's Pentagon for warfighters.
Pete's dedicated to the mission, but the Wall Street Journal is reporting that Donald Trump is considering Florida Governor Ron DeSantis as an option for defense secretary if senators don't play ball. Whatever happens at the Pentagon is a priority. Trump's in Mar-a-Lago debating how much should we invade Mexico. That's according to Rolling Stone, but who knows? An earlier report says Trump's put together a battle plan to wage war with the Mexican cartels. He's been briefed with options that include unilateral military strikes and troop deployments. Sources close to him say he's complained about missed opportunities in his first term, and there are a lot of people around him who want fewer missed opportunities in a second Trump presidency. Congress is getting in line, so we don't have another McCain out of the blue sabotaging legislation. Here's what you're going to see within the first 30 days. Congress is lining up back-to-back mega bills for Trump's John Hancock. The first bill, a border, energy, and defense package. The second bill, tax cuts. So get ready for massive change really fast, right around the Super Bowl and March Madness. So enjoy the ride. Trump already is. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.